did not post anything last week. We had out here in the Carolinas, we had that hurricane come through. Didn't really...
It wasn't that bad for us. It was just
No.
a lot of rain, mainly volume of rain, but other than that,
it wasn't bad.
That and I was stuck in the truck literally all week long.
Yeah, we were doing wrecker stuff, to say the least. We had a lot of extractions, a lot of breakdowns, a lot of goofiness. But we're back at it today in the shop, obviously. Today's goal, we got a couple pieces here. Round plate, big hole, small hole, and then piece of tubing. Then we have this factory Ford power steering cap. Main goal for today, this is going to be the bottom of the steering res. Ray's going to machine up a 5/8 bung to go in here. I'm going to weld it up and everything, get it all secured in there, and weld it to one end of this pipe. On this end, we're taking a piece of solid stock that we got hanging out over there. We're essentially going to machine it to where the power steering, the factory Ford cap can go in there and lock onto it. We're going to try to anyway. It's probably going to be half a nightmare, but we're going to try. That's kind of the goal. We're going to get to work. We're getting much for this team.
Somebody broke the parting tools.
I'm not the machinist.
Exactly. Leave my parting tools alone.
Seems to be parting just fine. Yeah. It's been about, I don't know, 30 minutes, maybe an hour, something like that. Here's one of the bungs. Ray machined up. 5/8, half inch, a little lip, all nice and smooth. That's going to be our feed to the power steering pump. He's going to work on the return now from the steering side. It'll be the same one, so it should be easy. Done once if you do it twice. After that, we'll start working on the thing for the cap here, which I already drew out a really crude drawing. Hopefully you can read it. I know I barely could, but we'll go from there. Now we weld. I guess. Freaking dexterity. That's side one. Hopefully this will go easy. I'm just melting the edges in. That I had to actually build up the other side. Whew. You don't set your torch right doing this stuff. Oh my god, it will drive you nuts. That's kind of what happened. I didn't have it hot enough. There for a little bit. Alright, decided to go old school with the welding on that one, just for, I guess you could say consistency.
Mucho better heat control.
Yes, it's a much slower process, but it's much better heat control. It's similar movements than a TIG, so to speak. You know, you move the pedal, dip the rod, move the pedal, dip the rod. The thing with a TIG, though, as soon as you hit the pedal, there's your puddle. This one takes a minute. But, yeah. There she is, she's welded up on both sides. So now we gotta wait for that to cool a little bit. We'll weld it to there. We'll probably do the same process because, once again, consistency.
I'm just over here making bung holes.
Actually, yeah, you're making another 5/8, I believe.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So I'll let that cool because that pipe's stone cold. There we go. That pipe there is stone cold. So we start heating that up on there, and that's already got a good bit of temperature in it. It's just gonna start melting away. So we'll let it cool for a few minutes, and we'll hit it with the torch again. I'll see if Ray ain't got nothing better to do. I'll see if he can get a close-up of it. We'll see what happens. I tried getting the thing of just doing the tacking. Got to tack the four little tacks on it. Try getting it to where you can see it, but I really can't. It's just too bright and the camera keeps flipping out. So I'm just gonna burn it in right quick. Boom, that's all it is. Probably not the best camera angles, I had to keep moving around, but it's all on there. As I said, what I did there was basically melted the edges together. And you know what? I'm just going to draw a diagram because I'm not going to even try to explain it and torture you guys with it. Give me 1 sec. So I know I said this is a similar kind of a deal with TIG. Sorry, fans in the background, but it's hot out here. So basically we got, see if I can get a good picture here. Call that top plate, call that the tube. Basically what we did was melted this corner and this corner down into each other. That's all we did. So it didn't need filler rod. Basically the cap part just fell onto the tubing and just kind of manipulated around, make it all solid. Probably do it with the TIG the same way. I don't know. I don't do much TIG. It's been a while too, I'm not gonna lie. But I don't know, sometimes it's cool to go old school. I like gas welding, I really do. That's where I learned. So what are we doing now? Making big hole, or little hole, big hole. Basically I'm drilling out. It's like a 2 or 2.5 inch solid. Gonna open it up to about a ginormous hole. He's got to open up to 2 inch and like 40 thousandths. So I think the plan was what? Drill up to our biggest drill bit, which I think is 1.25 inches, and then a boring bar from there, send it back and forth until it opens up where it should. I think that's the game plan. Yeah. Right. So 40 drill bits later, we will be back. This is going to take a bit. What is it typically 1/8 inch at a time? I think is the rule of thumb. I'm going to see if I can go a little bit bigger than that, but yeah. Well, minimum. About 1/8 inch, yeah. Minimum, 1/8 inch of a cut, so 1/4 to 3/8 to half. That's typically what we do. We're gonna try to step it up a little bit to make it go by faster. We'll see what happens. All right, been a few minutes. We got that slug drilled out to 1.25 inches. Now we're sending the boring bar through. I'll show you what that looks like. Stop counting the hairs on my bald spot. We all know I want to grow hair right here. Sure. So basically that little tip right there, here, I'm gonna scoot in. You run it back and forth in there, digs the hole out. Make little hole, big hole. Exactly. It's basically an unlimited size drill bit, but accurate. So he'll basically make that, what, 2 inch and like 30 thou, 40 thou or something like that?
Something like that, 2.2.
Which we started out at 1.25 inches, so it's...
Started out at a...
well, it's solid to start. Pilot. Yeah, it's solid to start with, but with the boring bar at least, we're starting at 1.25 inches. And we're going up to, like you said, 2 inch and like 30 or 40 thousandths. We'll remeasure to make sure, but it's a start. The 2 inch 40 thou is for this little guy to fit in. That's what this measured to. So, yay. We're not going to show you this whole process because it's probably going to take an hour or so to dig that through at what, 10 thou a dig, 15 thou a dig?
About 10 thou.
So 10 thousandths. And he's going to take out about 3/4 inch of material. Now granted, each dig takes away 20 if you're digging at 10. It takes 10 off each
10
side.
10 thou dig takes 20 thou in the diameter.
That's right. Yep. So we're going to be here for just a little bit. Alright, end of the day. Once again, sorry if you can hear the fan. We're going to go get a call, but we did make most of this. So this welds to the bottom of that reservoir. Ah. You fit in there like 10 minutes ago. Huh. There it goes. That's machined to fit through that space there. So I'll weld it on the inside and on the outside. So it's nice and snug. No leaks. Step 2 is this mammal. So we kind of cut in the grooves and everything. The idea is the factory forged cap drops in, goes between those two grooves, and then locks on. Problem is we got to take about a couple more thousandths out of here, it's really, really tight. I mean, I can get it past the O-ring, but I'm afraid I'll break it. That's the thing for tomorrow. I'll have Ray chew the inside out right quick, because that's his department. And then I'll start welding everything together. But tonight my homework is to actually take this back to the house, plop it in the truck somewhere, and make sure that the height's not going to be a problem. This thing's, I think it's a foot long, I want to say. So, then make sure the height's not a problem. Plus I got to keep in mind, I have a cap on it too, so it's going to sit approximately like that. Granted, once again, I can't push it all the way in, but... So I got another, I don't know, 2.5 inches sticking above the top. I got to account for it, make sure it doesn't hit my hood. So, that's what we're going to work on tomorrow, hopefully. So, until tomorrow. Alright, so it's Wednesday. We didn't make it out here yesterday. Wrecker stuff, and it was just a miserable day. So, we're back on this power steering ordeal. I put it on the truck, measured stuff out. We're going to cut about 5 inches out of it for height.
There's our cap.
Yep, regular cap all machined up. The factory Ford little drop-in twist thing, it works. It wasn't too terrible. Yep.
Cap Tesla shirt. Nice and snug.
Yep. So, we're going to do today, this is actually going to be a return. I was going to use it as a feed, but I'd have to do an S thing, and I can't find a molded hose of the size and shape I want. So, we're going to use that as a return. This is actually going to be the feed to the pump down here on the bottom, on the side. We're going to cut this, put a baffle in there, separate the feed and return sides. Am I boring you?
I knew you were going to say that.
So, yeah, I'll get this welded in. We'll probably do... We'll melt this into the plate here. Take the plate, put it on the top, weld it in. Of course, once we put a baffle in there, just to keep everything from swirling around. And,
Super slosh.
Yeah. You want your fluid to return to the reservoir nice and calmly. You don't want it to get in a stream or anything else. And
aerate the fluid and then cavitate the pump.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to avoid. So, all part of the process. So that's what we're going to work on, and then we have one more fitting to put in for return off the hydro boost. I think it was 3/8 fitting if I remember right, but we're going to step up to 1/2 inch.
Yeah.
I think. So anyway, we're going to get after it. Saw a spark slide came out of it. That's kind of cool.
Warm way down there.
Alright, so it's been just a little bit. And in that time, we have made a cat. So basically what this does...
It's a baffle.
Yep. Drop in our... Jug?
Valve.
Yeah, that too. So kind of get you a picture without falling. This side here would be the return side. It just separates them essentially. Separates return and feed. Feed's over here on this side. So I'm back in there wiggling around. But it just separates them a little bit. Therefore, once again, you don't have the pump pulling fluid.
Directly off the return.
Yeah, directly off the return for one, and thus creating vortexes and aeration and stuff. Nope. That's kind of what this whole thing is. What are you doing?
Drilling holes.
I have to do a bench, will you? But we're going to pop a couple of extra holes in it just for flow and go from there. Alright, so what we decided to do, we got the cat in the bag, so to speak. We drilled a couple of relief holes in it. The next thing we have to do is along here somewhere we got to put in the return from the hydro boost. Ray's going to machine that up first, as you can see in the background. He's doing machining stuff. We'll get that hole drilled, get that welded on, therefore, basically we can clean this thing of all of the drilling burrs and whatnot before we slam it together. Therefore, we don't have, random pieces of metal flying around a power steering system. The pumps get really pissed when that happens, so yeah. But I think what I am going to attempt to do is put the feed here on the bottom because, well, we don't need it. That's the next step. one more thing out of the way. So I'm going to work on that. Alright, sorry, I totally forgot to record because I do that a lot. But, feed bung welded. Next, I can weld the top plate to the filler cap. Put a bead on the inside, maybe a bead on the outside here, I'm not sure yet. See how it goes. That Ray's still working on making the second bung we need. I'll show you that here in a second. Alright, here's what we got going on. Put a big old chunk in there, turning it down to make the half-inch bung. Keep it restarted. This is what we have left over from doing the 2 5/8 ones. Not enough to grab a hold of on the machine, and it'll probably just fly out. I don't feel like getting shot with this today, so we decided to go with a bigger random piece we had hanging out. Matter of fact, we have a few of them down here. Just random stock. Matter of fact, we have a whole bucket full of stock and whatnot that all sorts of random different sizes came from who knows what.
Random projects,
yeah.
Learning how to use the machines.
Yep, yeah, when we started learning. Now we will. Alright, so got that welded, I'll let it cool, do an inspection. It didn't weld in like I was hoping it would, but we'll clean it up and see what it looks like. Okay, been a few. We got our half-inch bung on there, the 5/8 ones I showed you before. We got the cat in the hat, so to speak. I think what we're going to do now, I'm going to cook the cat in, hopefully it stays, and then put the top on. And hopefully this will be done and we can start making plans to get mounted on the truck. Well then. So what I'm basically going to do, take a torch here, I'm actually going to get the back side of this. This is 3/8 to,
14 gauge.
3/16 to 14 gauge, there's a little bit of thickness difference. So I'm going to heat the back side of it real good, get it good and hot, and then stick the torch inside and see if I can make them join. We'll see. See, preheat the back side of it first. Work good on the other side, so why not? Ugh. That's hot. But it's cooked in and you see it's still blistering friggin' hot. It's one of the disadvantages of welding this way, but it is what it is. Yeah. I think probably just gonna leave it at that because there's no way I'm getting down in there with a torch. Or MIG torch or anything really. So I think it'll be good the way it is. And yeah. But we're gonna let this cool. We're gonna trim it up. I just got called to go do an equipment recovery, so I got to high up in the 12 ton go do that. I think it's a 13,000 pound man lift or whatever they call it. Matter of fact, I pulled it out of the mud 2 weeks ago. Repeat customer. Yay. But they're good people, so I'll go help them out right quick. So I guess until tomorrow. Yeah. You gotta go to the airport.
So it's Friday.
We made it. Didn't make it over here yesterday. Someone kept whining that the front tires on the flatbed were all wore out and blah blah blah. I mean, they were only worn on one side. I mean, Jesus.
One of them he wouldn't even keep as a spare that was that bad. So Yeah.
So anyway, so we're doing that. We did that yesterday and hung out with a buddy of ours for a little bit. And may have inadvertently bought another project. We'll get that out probably next week. We're formulating.
A couple weeks maybe.
Yeah. So what we're going to do today, just finish up this Hydro Boost res. So I'm gonna finish up this we're gonna finish up this Hydro Boost res. Ray has to go right quick. Basically, where we're down to is just mounting the top. That's it. It's done. Of course, Henrietta's gonna help. But we just got done sandblasting the inside of it. We got the cat in there. It's all welded up.
Why is there a chicken?
I'm just gonna go ahead and fire up the old gas torch and burn it all in. That's the game plan anyway. Just like that, she's done. We'll let that cool for a little bit. I'll probably take the grinder, got a 120 flap wheel on it. We'll clean it up a little bit. That's pretty much it. Alright, so end of the day, it was a short one today. Kind of ran ourselves out of work, we just don't feel like getting started on anything else right now. I still got to kind of clean up the fuel tank back there. Looks like next week, the block's going off to get bored out. We'll see how that goes. We did finish this up. I think it cost a total of, I think I owe you $20 for this or something like that.
Whatever.
And just a bunch of random scrap we had hanging around. It's better than spending $300 in shipping and all that. And like I say, we made it ourselves. I think it came out pretty good. So, yay. I'm going to try to get some body work done on the passenger side of that crawler. I did the driver's side last weekend, I think it was.
Yeah.
Last weekend I did the driver's side. I want to try to do the passenger this weekend. We are hoping to get a cage on there soon. Getting sick and tired of it sitting in the dirt.
If you can get the body work done this weekend, theoretically we could have the cage on end of next week.
The front bumper's over at my place now. It's sitting on our trailer.
Basically, all the cage and bumpers, all that's done.
It's not here.
Yeah, we're not stumbling over it anymore.
That was the main point, because it was just big, bulky items that were in the way, and we're constantly tripping over them and saying, let's start transporting. We may have found a replacement cab.
Possibly.
We were going to go ahead and start repairing the sheet metal on that, and yeah, we may have found a better cab for $500.
If the cab is in as good a shape as I'm hoping, that will be the same. It'll be similar cost to just buying the floor pans themselves. So,
and then the time savings nonetheless.
yeah.
So I did mention a little earlier too, possibly another project.
Oh, am I vey?
We'll tell you about that later. We're not even going to get into that yet. But it's going to be an off-road vehicle of sorts, and yeah. So we'll keep you informed with that as time goes on. So anyway, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Dude. And we will see you guys next week.
Probably need.
Yum, yo, yeah. You're gonna grill your nuts.